Content creation is 7 jobs in a trench coat pretending to be one easy job. That is a fact. You need to learn so many skills and work so hard to be successful. But there is one skill you need to learn above all else: motivation. Which, yes, before you comment, is a skill. Because be honest, is this you? You set a schedule and a time to go live, and then you go out to do your day job, maybe you go to school, or you just have a bit of a crappy day. And then when it's time to go live, you just don't want to anymore. Maybe you need to edit a video or post a TikTok and you just can't bring yourself to get off the couch because the day has just been too much already. Well, let me tell you right now, motivation is bullshit. Today, I'm helping you get motivated by explaining just how stupid the word motivation actually is and how it will stop you from ever being successful. Speaking of successful, how about a successful transition to a sponsored ad read for Own.tv? I want to say thank you to our sponsor, Own.tv. They are a fantastic resource for any streamer. Own.tv are constantly releasing brand new high-quality animated overlays, alerts, and so many other graphics and resources for your stream. They have both animated overlays and static overlays, which is the most important part of this sponsorship for me. Because at the end of the day, I know a lot of you guys are just starting out and you don't have high-end PCs. This means you can't use big fancy animated overlays and you need to use static overlays instead. These take up much less PC resources, meaning you can let those resources focus on encoding your stream and making your gameplay smooth. We have a link in the description, so if you go click that and check out what they've got going on, they might have released a brand new overlay pack that is perfect for your stream, and I really recommend you check it out. A massive thank you to Own for always supporting this channel. They are one of the first sponsors to reach out and treat me seriously. So if you want to support me, go and support them with the link in the description. It really helps us out as well. The inherent difficulty of content creation and streaming, or really any freelancing, is you work for yourself. You are your own boss, which sounds fantastic when I think back to all of my old bosses, especially that one boss who honestly believed women could smell how much testosterone he had. But when you're responsible only to yourself, it means you can be a bit more lenient on deadlines. If you miss them, nobody is going to pull you up or dock your pay. You don't have to sit in an office from 9 to 5, take 15-minute breaks, or wear a tie. Heck, you don't even have to wear pants. All of this is amazing, but it tends to lead to not getting a whole lot of work done, or as some gurus call it, being demotivated. But the thing about motivation is that everyone seems to misunderstand what motivation actually is. It seems like over the last few years, people have started perpetuating motivation as a feeling or a state of mind, a mind palace from Sherlock Holmes that you need to enter in order to work. But that just isn't true. That is bullshit. And if you wait for that feeling to start working, you will never get any work done. Motivation is literally just the reason or reasons why you want to do something. That is it. If you have a good reason to want to do something, then you will be more motivated to work. If your reason isn't good enough, then you will be less motivated. If your motivation to start streaming is to earn money, you'll be demotivated very quickly when that doesn't happen. If your motivation is because you just love to create content, then you'll likely be more motivated because you get to create content. But motivation really doesn't matter, and having no motivation doesn't mean you can't still work. Because the secret to success isn't some guru telling you, hey, here's how you get motivated, 5 easy steps. No, it's being disciplined, building a routine, and being consistent, which are all skills you can learn or practice. I think one of my favorite methods of this is the Seinfield strategy. If you've ever watched my videos, I think I mentioned this last year, but it's important, and we've gained 60,000 new subscribers since then. Plus, don't pretend like you watching this video actually do half the tips I mentioned. Yeah, I said it, so I'm going to say the tip again until you finally do it. Jerry Seinfeld used what is now called the Seinfeld Strategy, or at least that's what I call it. This is the concept of creating a daily task or routine that you never stray from. In his example, he got a large wall calendar that had 365 squares, one for every day of the year. And every single day he would sit down and spend time writing out jokes. I really wonder what he did on leap years. When he had written a joke, he would put a big red X through the day of the calendar. If he kept at it, eventually he would start seeing a streak of X's form. And the longer he kept the streak, the more he felt disciplined or motivated not to break the streak of X's. The chain of X's became a reason for him to sit down and write, because if he didn't, he would lose his chain or his streak. The jokes didn't even have to be good. They didn't even have to be half decent. He just had to work on writing jokes. And so he sat down every day in his routine to write a joke, and he improved. He also became faster at coming up with them, and he learned what made them work. You need to find your streak and never break it. Are you going to script a video for 30 minutes every day? Maybe you make a TikTok every single day. Learn a new skill every single day. And by finding your streak, you'll find motivation to get up and work so you can cross that X off. The app I use for streaks is just simply called Streaks, and it is incredibly powerful. I really recommend looking it up. I believe they have a free version and a paid version, so you can try it out and go for it. That's not a sponsor, it's just the tool that I use. Speaking of crossing things off, the second tool to keep myself, I'm sorry, that was the worst. The second tool to keep myself on task and disciplined I use is lists. Every single day, I have a list of tasks I have to complete. It can range from chores to meetings, healthy ideas, bowel movements, rest, and of course, work. As I go through my day, I tick things off that list, and at the end of the day, I can see everything I've accomplished. It makes me feel good. Over the years, I have used a lot of different types of lists, from simply writing them out in my notebook, Trello, Asana, Jira, but now I just use a simple free app called Mind List. On the left, I have every project I am working on, and if I go inside one of these projects, they have all the reoccurring tasks those projects require me to do, such as making thumbnails, writing scripts, and planning stream schedules. And then these tasks I have set to reoccur on specific days of the week. For example, on Mondays, I dot point one script and write another full script. So I set both of these to happen on Monday. This also means I get into routines where each day I do certain tasks consistently on certain projects. That way, every day when I sit down to work, I open up my laptop, open Mind List, and there is a list called Today. This list takes all the reoccurring tasks that need to be done on that certain day and puts them together for me. I then add in any extra things that come up, such as meetings or one-off tasks that are required, set the date they need to be done by, but most importantly, I set their priority level. The list will rank from high priority to low priority for me, and I can see everything I need to do, what is urgent, and from there I can start working through my day. This actually keeps me flexible as well. It means I don't have to work 9 to 5, but instead I just have a list of things to get done, and if I get them done early, then that is me done for the day. And that leads me to a really important rule I follow for myself. If a task or job takes less than 5 minutes to do it, I should just get it done. This works really well for me because at the end of the day, I don't have any excuse for not getting something done when it is such a minuscule amount of work that it can be completed so quickly. But this logic also applies to giant tasks you have to complete. If you said to yourself, I have to make a video today, that is a huge amount of work, and because it is so much work, starting that seems difficult. A fantastic lesson I learned from my sister who does Ironman competitions is that running sucks. That wasn't the lesson, but more just a fundamental truth of the world. It is one of the hardest things to try and motivate someone to do. But when you break running down into its simple components, it becomes so much easier to make someone get up and go for a run. You aren't going for a run right now. You're just putting your shoes on. Next task is to go outside and take 10 steps. Now just go for another 5 minutes. And by breaking it up like that, it becomes far more achievable. And before long, you've done an hour outside. You aren't making an entire video right now. You're just turning the lights on. You're just turning the microphone on. You're just opening OBS to record. You're just taking your pants off. Now you're just reading the first paragraph of a script. And before you know it, you're all the way through the script and have a video ready to edit. When you reframe a massive project or a massive amount of work to be easier, simpler components that you can finish, you begin to make it more manageable. And by ticking off those smaller tasks, you start to feel accomplished, which snowballs and makes you get more work done. Let's talk about the hardest part of self-discipline though. But before that, I want to mention something that takes far less than 5 minutes, and that is subscribing to the channel. If this video helps you out at all, consider checking out my other content and subscribing if you find this or any of that interesting. I make videos every single week on all sorts of topics such as Twitch and YouTube growth, and asking you guys to subscribe does sound kind of shit, but honestly, when I do it, I get so many more subs per video. Plus, it's free and you can always unsubscribe later. Okay, back to it. A fact you need to understand when it comes to working for yourself is that all jobs or projects will expand to fit the time they are given. This is why setting a deadline for yourself is so important. If you don't have a deadline, or you set a deadline that is so far out in the future, then you will always be able to put off working on a project or a task. If you only make a video once a month, well, the video will take a month to make. It expands to meet the time given. When you're trying to grow as a content creator, these deadlines are crucial to keeping you progressing and keeping you growing. The more content you put out, the more chances people will find you and want more from you. Whether that is 1 video a week or 3 to 4 streams a week doesn't really matter. The important thing is setting that goal and working a way to meet it consistently. That said, remember, someone who makes 1 video a week has more chances to be discovered and more chances to make mistakes and learn than someone who makes 1 video a month. But in turn, remember, someone who makes 1 video a day likely doesn't have the time to carefully think about what they're doing and improve from it. So set your deadlines carefully. They are a finish line for you to try and meet and are very important to new creators trying to grow and learn. Look, I am on the final tip now, and I have to be entirely honest with you. I am no expert on this, and everyone's brain works differently. I know there are people out there who have ADHD and all sorts of other things that this might not help. I'm not an expert in that. I am just passing on what helps me and a few of the other full-time content creators I spoke to before making this video. The only part of this I know for sure is that discipline, routine, and hard work are so important because while passion goes a long way, it isn't enough to keep you through the burnout. It isn't enough to keep you working on the hard days. It isn't enough time to push you when your work goes underappreciated or underperforms, which, let's be real, every small creator out there right now feels underappreciated and like their content is underperforming. And spoiler, when you get larger, you're still gonna feel those things. And on those days when everything feels hopeless, you aren't passionate anymore, and you need to be disciplined in order to get up and keep working. People always say, if you love what you do, you will never work a day in your life. And to an extent, I can maybe agree with some of that. But jobs are jobs, and you'll never love every aspect of it. There are always days that are harder than others. One of the hardest realizations streamers have is that if you are struggling to find motivation to go live, it might just be because you don't enjoy it anymore. This isn't always the case, obviously, but if you enjoy streaming or enjoy making videos, it is a lot easier to stream or make videos. But if you aren't enjoying it anymore, it's important to ask yourself, why are you doing it? There isn't enough time in the day to spend doing something you hate or don't enjoy. So why are you making content? Why are you streaming? Find the parts you love to do and why you want to do it, and then focus on that. For a lot of you, interacting with an audience is probably the most fun you can have as a streamer. So if you want to interact with your audience and get more chatters, then why don't you click this video right here, which is all about 7 ways to get more chatters in your stream. I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.